So my name is Emma. I do videos about mental illnesses, particularly anxiety and OCPD on my channel. As for OCPD, I've found it is incredibly helpful and incredibly difficult when you're like at the peak of your perfectionistic point. It's very hard to break out of it, which is probably common with like a lot of personality disorders because it's just so natural for us. I think of them as like brain sticky notes. I haven't really talked about this too much before. It could be physical. I mean, physical reminders are probably a good idea too, but like I tend to use mental reminders if I feel like I'm hyper-focusing or over-analyzing something, and in general, like before I get to that point when I start doing homework, because a lot of the times that's when it starts up. I just try to like remember to stop myself. Anytime I feel myself slipping into that sort of mindset of like needing to be perfect, I remember like my goal is like not to do that. Obviously the goal, especially with OCPD, is to avoid burnout or prevent burnout, which is when you overwork yourself. Just kind of like checking in, maybe setting a timer, or like literal sticky notes so you can remember that it's like an issue you have but something you're trying to work on. Taking breaks is super important and is the thing that I struggle probably the most with, because when I'm in that zone of like being perfectionistic or like just wanting to get it done and wanting to do it all, it's really hard for me to take a break from that because I feel like I'm at such a high functioning level. But the problem is if you stay in that level, eventually you're gonna drop really fast, and that's kind of how burnout works, because you can't work at your best forever, so you are working at a more constant, manageable rate. If you have your priorities straight and you know that like you need to work on yourself and like your mental state at the time is more important than all the work you need to do, just remember that things can be sacrificed, but like you can't really sacrifice yourself. Like you should not sacrifice your mental health for anything else. It's not worth it because you cannot sustain the level of energy and effort. So just doing the bare minimum for literally anything you need to do, as long as it gets you through the day, like you're doing enough so that you won't have too much to do later, because like that was a huge issue for me the past week, which is why I struggled so much trying to keep that in check. I didn't do perhaps as great on self-care as I should have, because I didn't want to get too far behind, so that's why it's important that you do the minimum, you get what you need to get done so you can like survive the day and then leave time for yourself. Not overthinking or over-analyzing is super important, because I kind of already touched on this, so like I won't go into depth too much, but like it's okay to distract yourself or, you know, do other things, move on with your life, not to dwell on the things that are causing problems for you, despite what you might believe, because I know I have like huge problems doing that because I feel like I'm just ignoring the problem and like nothing's ever getting done. But it's important to do things other than just think about stuff, because thinking about things doesn't get anything done. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.